Hey YouTubers, Hankster here, and now of course if you've heard, either through the from YouTube or the internet, social media, or caught the little trailer during Thursday night's airing of the season finale of Legends of Tomorrow, it was formally announced on the channel that Supergirl will be moving from CBS to the CW. So it's joining most of its fellow DC-based superhero shows on air. And of course, the only one now that's still kind of rogue is Gotham, which is obviously going to be staying on Fox Network for season 3. Now, of course, even though this is kind of big news for all, superhero TV show fans, and more likely there will be more crossover episodes featuring Supergirl with either Flash or Arrow or Legends of Tomorrow. Now, of course, it's not the first time that a superhero show, especially, has had a major crossover moving from one channel to another. Now, of course, obviously, most people wonder why Supergirl wasn't on CW in the first place. That's neither here nor there. But let's travel back almost 40 years ago. Well, about 40. Well, it says that 40 years ago. Back when there was only 3 networks, there was no CW or Fox or anything. There was only 3 major channels. There was NBC, CBS, and ABC. And on ABC, they had a little show from DC Comics called Wonder Woman, and that was the one that starred Linda Carter, and basically on that particular series had Wonder Woman teaming up with her love interest Steve Trevor and battling Nazis during World War II. The show, of course, was pretty successful, pretty popular, but then something happened at the end of season 1. They decided to move the show to another channel. I don't know if it was just, I don't know if it had anything to do with ratings or money or anything, but they decided to give CBS Wonder Woman as a TV show. Now, of course, oddly enough, when it was moved to CBS the following year for season 2, they decided to take Wonder Woman out of World War II and move her into the modern era, the late 1970s, and kind of have her adventures that kind of had, it was Wonder Woman meets James Bond pretty much. And even though the same actor who played Steve Trevor reprised the role somewhat, of course playing his son 30 years later, because we got to remember this is like 30 years after World War II. This basically they were part of a sort of a fanciful version of either CIA or the FBI or something like that, taking on international criminals, and of course mirror images of the Cold War and everything. Even though they did have some harkenings back to the original series with like neo-Nazis trying to clone Hitler, or a revenge-crazed Japanese man trying to kill Wonder Woman for what he thought was the death of his brother during World War II, and all that. But it was pretty much more modern-day adventures, as opposed to the continuation of the original plot, which of course was Wonder Woman versus Nazis. Now, ironically enough, Wonder Woman was, of course, on CBS at the same time that The Incredible Hulk, which of course was from Marvel, was also on CBS. Now, of course, the Hulk is also another, you could say, victim or another example of a show or a concept of a show moving from one channel to another. Now, of course, the entire series of The Incredible Hulk remained on CBS from its initial beginnings in 1977 all the way to its ending in 1982. But oddly enough, that same year, NBC decided to air on Saturday mornings the Incredible Hulk animated series, along with Spider-Man, His Amazing Friends, and all that kind of stuff. And of course, if even a side note here, the art is from the same people that brought you Transformers and G.I. Joe in the 80s too. That's just my guess. But the obvious change did not happen until 6 years later, when the Incredible Hulk television movies started airing in 1988 with the return of the Incredible Hulk, which of course both the return and the trial of the Incredible Hulks were basically also hopeful pilots for two more Marvel-based superhero television series, which really didn't do, got off the ground. And of course, that was Thor and Daredevil. Now, of course, ironically enough, Daredevil has a successful series going into season 2 on Netflix, and Thor, of course, is now a movie character in both the Avengers and, of course, his own movie series, which, of course, is going into Ragnarok by around next year. But as you know, all three Hulk movies, the Return, the Trial, and the Death of the Incredible Hulk, were all aired on NBC. I guess it has something to do because at the time, Universal, who still had rights to make the Hulk television series or movies, decided to make most of their programs for NBC. So at the time, and of course, ironically, and of course, also Bill Bixby also directed Blossom, which was an NBC series in the early '90s. He, of course, directed that up to his death in 1994. So that was another interesting move from one channel to another channel. So it's not totally a new concept that Supergirl has done. It's been done before. It's probably going to be done again. There's been other programs. If you want to count, like that one show that was on Fox. Now it's on Hulu or whatever. Hulu or Netflix or whatever. Shows. But that's kind of like a move from regular television to internet television, or what you want to call it. And of course, there's been instances where a show that's been floundering has had help from another channel to try to keep it going, like my so-called Life in the late '90s, which of course was on ABC at the time. They decided they were going to cancel it, but MTV tried to intervene and try to rescue the series, even though it did do too well in doing so, but it did air episodes on MTV for a while too to try to save the series on its network home. But of course that kind of bombed out. But that's just because it was just aired on two channels. It wasn't like it was a permanent move or anything, like what happened with Wonder Woman and Supergirl and the Hulk and all that. But this is just a little history lesson involving superhero shows being moved around channel-wise. Hopefully, Supergirl will have a more permanent home with the CW and have even better episodes, especially with the crossovers with Flash and Arrow and the Legends of Tomorrow. So let's have to keep our fingers crossed. Of course, we won't know anything until season 2 starts in the fall. So here we are at the beginning of summer. We got to wait 3 or 4 months. Go figure. But I just hope you like this little video, a little historical look back video, and stay tuned here for more reviews and history look backs here on the Multiverse. See ya.